Imagine being called in the dead of night, the wind howling through the cracks of cottages, the fields outside drowned in mist. Imagine carrying nothing but a bundle of herbs, a knife, and your bare hands, knowing you alone stand between life and death. You are the midwife, and your own life is never truly yours. The knock comes at midnight. You rise from your straw bed, shoulders stiff, bones aching. The voice outside is urgent. Come quick, she is crying out. You wrap your shawl tight and step into the dark. Mud squelches beneath your shoes. The air is damp, heavy with the smell of smoke and sickness. The stars are hidden. Only the lantern in your hand cuts a trembling circle through the mist. The cottage looms ahead, its windows glowing faintly. Inside, the cries of a woman echo sharp against the rafters. You push the door open, and the room hits you. The smell of blood, sweat, and fear. A girl lies on the straw pallet, her face pale, her body shaking. She cannot be more than 15. Her mother wrings her hands at the foot of the bed, whispering prayers. The husband paces in the shadows, his eyes wild with helplessness. They all turn to you, the midwife. You set your bundle down. Herbs for the plain, cloths for the blood. The knife sharp but worn. Your hands tremble as you wash them in cold water, but you steady them. You have done this 100 times. You'll do it again 100 more if you live long enough. The girl screams. You kneel beside her, pressing your palms against her belly, whispering, breathe. Push when the wave comes. Her grip on your arm is fierce. She looks into your eyes, not with trust, but with desperation, as though you are the last rope between her and the abyss. You whisper again. You guide her. You coax life into the room. Hours pass. Sweat beads on your brow. The fire burns low. The girl's cries grow weaker, the air thick with fear. At last, child comes slick, red, screaming into the night. You cut the cord. You wrap him in cloth. You press him into his mother's trembling arms. For a moment, the room breathes. For a moment, there is joy. But you are not part of it. You gather your tools, wipe your hands on your apron. You feel the ache in your back, the hollowness in your chest, the cough tasting iron in your throat. The family does not thank you. They weep over the child, pray over the girl. You are only a shadow in the corner, already forgotten. You step into the cold again, your lantern flickering. The mist swallows you whole. This is your life, night after night, year after year. You bring others into the world. While the world takes pieces of you, the village needs you. But it does not love you. They whisper when you pass. She knows too much. She meddles with herbs. She works in blood. Some call you healer. Some call you witch. But when the pains begin, when the blood will not stop, when the cries of labor shake the rafters, they all call for you. You go, always. Because if you do not, who will? Your hands tell the story of your years skin split from. Endless washing nails broken, fingers bent from clutching knives and cloth. You smell of smoke, sweat, and bitter herbs. Your eyes are tired, your breath short, but you cannot rest. There's always another knock at the door. Always another mother clinging to life. Sometimes you succeed. A baby wails. The mother smiles weakly, clutching her child as though he is a miracle. The family rejoices. They speak of blessings of saints. They do not speak of you. Sometimes you fail. The child does not cry. The mother's breathing slows. The cottage fills with wails of grief. They do not blame the fever. They do not blame the famine. They blame you. You carry both in silence. The lives saved and the lives lost. No feast waits for you. No prayers offered in your name. Only the same straw bed, the same bundle of tools, the same hollow ache in your chest. The world remembers the child, and for the hands that pulled him from the dark. One winter evening, you sit alone by your fire. The wind rattles the shutters, snow drifts against the door. You cough again, the sound sharp, tearing. Blood stains the cloth you press to your lips. Your body weakens. The years of smoke, of blood, of endless nights have carved themselves into You know your time shortens, but still, when the knock comes, you will rise, because that is what you are, the midwife, forgotten by all, except by the children who will never know your name. Winter deepens, ground is iron, the river frozen, the air sharp enough to cut your lungs. You wake each morning weaker, but the knocks never stop. A birth in the miller's house, a fevered girl in the farmer's cottage, mother bleeding. In the loft above the tavern, you go to them all, though each step feels heavier than the last. The village whispers louder now. They see the hollows beneath your eyes, the cough that bends you double, the blood you hide in cloth. She is cursed, someone mutters as you pass. She has given herself to the devil, another hisses. But when the cries of labor echo, when the screams rise in the night, it is your door they pound. They call you witch by day, they call you savior by night, and you answer both. One evening, the snow thick outside, you are called to a cottage at the edge of the fields. The girl inside is barely more than a child, her belly swollen, her face drenched in sweat. Her cries shake the walls. You kneel, your breath ragged, your body trembling. You guide her through the hours, whispering as her mother weeps beside her. At last, the child comes, a small, wailing life, fragile and loud. The mother collapses back, spent but alive. For a moment, you allow yourself to smile. But when you leave, the villagers waiting outside do not look at the baby. They look at you, their eyes sharp, whispers colder than the wind. She bleeds with them. She cries with them. It is not natural. She should not know so much of blood. You do not answer. You pull your shawl tighter and vanish into the snow. The nights grow longer. Your cough worsens. Sleep comes in fits, broken by fever. Your hands shake when you hold the knife. Your vision blurs when you thread the cord. Still, you go. Because if you stop, who will stand between mothers and the grave? One night, the knock comes again. This time you can barely rise. Your chest is fire, your body weak. But the cries outside are desperate. Please, she will die without you. You take your bundle, your shawl, your trembling lantern. The wind howls as you stumble through the dark. Your knees buckle, your breath comes in shallow gasps. The cottage door opens. A room full of fear swallows you. You kneel beside the mother. Though your hands shake so hard you can barely hold the cloth, you guide her, whispering between your own coughs, when the child comes. It is silent. You rub its chest, clear its throat, whisper prayers. At last, a thin cry pierces the air. The mother sobs with relief. The family gathers close. Joy flooding the room, but you do not see it. You collapse on the floor. Your vision black. They say you died quietly, your shawl still around your shoulders. Your hands still red with another's blood. The child lived. The mother lived, but you did not. The village buries you in frozen ground.
Ow!
No stone marks your place. No candle burns in your name. The priest speaks briefly, his voice flat. By dusk, the villagers have gone. Your tools lie abandoned in your hut. Your herbs wither, your knife rusts. Soon, another woman will take your place. She too will be called witch and savior, saint and sinner, and she too will be forgotten. But in every cry of a newborn, in every life pulled from the brink, there is your shadow. The mothers who lived never spoke your name, but their children breathed. Because you answered the knock, you gave your life piece by piece, till there was nothing left but silence. You are the forgotten midwife, delivering life, dying in silence. Imagine being summoned in the night, again and again, knowing each birth steals a little more of your own breath, until the last child's cry becomes the silence of your own. Would you have risen from your bed, or let the knock go unanswered? For more hidden lives and untold histories, subscribe to Refound Legacy